Well, Sean, we're at the end of a very, very exciting hunt. Obviously, the last few days we've been hunting hippo. Just thought it'd be nice to do a little bit of a recap about the last few days, because it does all seem to sometimes
run together
and blur into one. But day one, tracking hippo on land was not easy. Eric did an outstanding job. It takes a lot of time to work out the tracks because hippos travel quite a bit in the night. But in any case, Eric did manage to finally figure out the tracks, and we found the hippos, bedded down, got into a real thick spot, saw what we believed to be a cow. We believed it was 2 tracks, and we couldn't quite locate the bull in the back, and I think at one point you and I were probably about 10-11 yards away.
we were real close, there's no doubt. It was just amazing, one, to watch the trackers work, because there's so much area here that these hippos can roam. It's not very hospitable ground for tracking.
Definitely not.
And these animals were staying in really thick, just nasty stuff, and it was, you have to take it really slow, you have to be really careful. And like you said, we got within 10-12 yards of at least the big cow, but obviously the big bull was just in there somewhere. We just couldn't see him.
No, for sure.
That gives you an idea of how thick this is. You're talking about a 2-ton plus animal within 15 or 20 yards, and you can't even see a glimpse of it.
No, for sure.
And then obviously as this hunt plays out, that's going to come into play a little bit later. So, but you did a great job keeping us all safe, and made the pertinent decision at the time. Light was getting low. We backed out. We left them. Obviously as a hunter, that's a little bit. You always want to try to conclude it if you get that close, but it was absolutely the right decision, because you couldn't identify which was the right hippo, and it was getting late. We didn't need to push it. It was day one.
And tomorrow's always another day.
That's right. We got to get a fresh start in the morning. So it was a great first day. This is my first time I've ever hunted hippo, and it was, by all accounts, just a wonderful tracking, looking, going through tough country. Just a great all-around day. Great hunt.
Yeah. Day 2 we did a similar drill. Obviously drag the roads at night so we can cut fish tracks. Once again, a very long process to sort out the tracks and try and figure out what is going on, where they've moved to. They travel so much in the night, and in any case we eventually tracked the tracks into a real small thicket, but very, very, very thick, and we cut around that thicket and saw that the tracks had not left there. So logic sort of dictated that the hippos must indeed be in there. Then obviously for safety reasons, we had to check what was going on in that thicket, and true as Bob, there they were lying, probably about 10 yards from where we'd looped around the back. They were right there,
in front of them.
Right in front of them, and we could not see them. In any case, we got them nice and tight. We did everything we could to try and get a visual, try and squeeze a shot in, but the best we could do was a tiny bit of skin through some brush at extremely close range. So eventually we made a plan to throw a rock into there to try and get them to shift beds, just to try and give us a better position. And sometimes the best laid plans don't always work out, and Eric lobbed that rock in there, and those hippos obviously reacted, of course, and luckily ran the opposite way of us and went straight to water, and obviously wasn't what we were looking for. So day 2 was exciting. It wasn't tense, same as day 1, but those hippos unfortunately didn't play game, and we left them that afternoon, hoping that they would return back to land in the morning, which thankfully they did.
They did, yeah. I think one thing that kind of sticks out to me for that second morning is we did find another hippo, not too far from water. But it wasn't the big bull that we had identified that we wanted to take a crack at. So we passed on him. But just to even sort that bull out, it was a wonderful job of tracking by the guys. And then, like you said, we tracked for several hours to get in close, and it was just too close, too thick, no shots, nothing, nothing to be able to take a crack at one. And then when we did try to make a plan and kind of push it a little bit, they did what hippos do, and they went back to the water, and could have very easily sat at the water and waited for him and took a crack at him in the water. But that's just not what I wanted this hunt to be.
Yeah.
And you certainly were very understanding of that as trying to put this thing together. So we backed out, and we're going to give it a try the next time.
For sure. So obviously day 3, the day that it all happened, once again dragged roads to cut tracks, and once again it was an absolute mess. Day 3 was probably the messiest day in terms of tracks. It just was total confusion. I mean, I think at 11:30 we were still trying to sort out tracks and trying to figure it all out, and Eric, as he tends to do, went off on his own, and all of a sudden an hour later you'll get a phone call and he's either found the animal or he's hot in their trail. So any case, that was the case this time around. He phoned us and he said he reckons he's got the final set of tracks that are heading to where the hippos are hopefully bedded, and we went in there, and that was actually already quite late at that point, I think about 12 o'clock in the day. And we jumped in the tracks in the thickest of thick hookthorn, horrible stuff to be in. And Eric was obviously taking us very slowly through there, and at one point he said he could smell hippo, and it probably wasn't about 10 seconds later we sighted the first hippo. From there it was a bit of a job to sort through them and see how many there were, and where the bulls and the cows were and whatnot. And any case, eventually we realized there was 3 hippos there, and obviously once again at extremely close quarters. And we got the sticks, because obviously it was going to be a bit of precision shooting, so we needed you nice and stable so you could get a clear picture. And that process of locating the bull, identifying him in that thick stuff, and trying to sneak that bullet through was, that 5 minutes felt like an eternity.
It did.
But you did a fantastic job. We communicated nicely the whole time, and that's important, and especially when you have that kind of situation, that kind of opportunity. And the end result was better than we could have ever hoped for. When you pulled that trigger and that hippo never got out of his bed, it was the ideal. When you've got 3 hippos running away, that's extremely dangerous. But if you can only have 2 to worry about, that helps quite a bunch and
makes it a little better.
He's lying there, he's not standing, he's lying. So reload. Shoot again, he's lying. Shoot him again. Okay, good. Reload. Another one. Gotta reload. Are you fine? There's a nice gap there. Just to the right of that same tree we've been speaking about. Shoot it. Again. Nice. Okay, let's just give it 2 minutes. No, he didn't. Oh, jeez, that was hectic.
Never got out of his bed. What a coaching job, Dan.
Oh, no, that's all good. Well done, man. that was look at this, Sean. It doesn't happen to me. Whew. 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 Whew.
Any words for the camera, Sean?
17 meters.
Just give me a minute.
Did a great job, man.
Well, thank you very much. It was, you know, an all morning affair trying to get the track sorted, and when we finally got in there close, you know, that last 50 to 75 yards was really slow going because you're looking and scanning and making sure you're not going to step right on top of one. And I'll be honest with you, when you stopped, I mean, with your body language and all of that, I could tell that you were looking at least one of the hippos. But from that point to the time we finally took the shot, it was, it felt like forever. But just, to go 2 or 3 yards, it would take 3 or 4 minutes because you're so careful about not spooking them, not making a wrong step and stepping on a branch or kicking a rock, because you didn't want them coming out of there and taking all that effort that morning to find them. And then once I finally saw it, all I thought I was looking at was a boulder. And as you're looking through the binoculars and sort of explaining, and here's this, and then I finally realized what was the hippo. And then I'm thinking to myself, there's no way. I mean, there's a 18-inch square hole that we might get a bullet through.
If even 18 inches, man, it was tiny.
It was tight, but we talked through it. We were talking about shot placement, and then at that point, it was really important to me that we were on the same exact page.
Of course, yeah.
And because once you squeeze the trigger, there's no bringing that bullet back.
Sure.
And there's real consequences if you make a poor shot.
In that situation,
It's going to be dangerous follow-up with a wounded hippo in all this thick cover, and what's going to happen is you're going to get back in the water, and what does that turn into? And there was the cow was laying right next to him to make sure not to hit her and injure her, and it just really took a lot for us to get sorted out. But I really appreciate your patience and your because obviously you're standing just a foot next to me, but your perspective is just a little bit different than mine from the sight picture of the scope, and we were finally able to talk through it, and this blade of grass here and this twig is there, and when the shot broke, it was chaos for just a few seconds, and there's a hippo running this way and one going that way, and I'm thinking, did I hit the bull? Did I miss? And you're telling me to shoot again, and I'm thinking I don't want to shoot the wrong one. And then finally it dawned on me, it became a little bit clear, my bull was still down, trying to get up. Then at that point we made some shots and reloaded and made a few more follow-up shots, and then gratefully the animal never got out of its bedding area right there, and we were able to take a few seconds, catch our breath, and took a moment to just kind of be first thankful that everybody was okay and safe.
Absolutely.
And then be very grateful about just a wonderful, wonderful hunting experience, and have just a tremendous trophy. That was a great old bull.
Stunning old bull.
Just incredible. So yeah, absolutely.
It was one of those days for me that will never be forgotten. It was incredibly special. It was one of the most intense hunts I've ever done in my life, and it was it was amazing to see everyone just it was one of the few times I think everyone's been speechless. We just all stood and you know, especially even after the fact, once we'd you know, slaughtered the hippo and got all the meat and, you know, everything out, you know, we just stood there watching that sunset, and we didn't have much to say to one another. We were just really soaking it all in, and it was a beautiful day in Africa, and I'm very happy that I got to share it with you, Sean.
Absolutely, yeah. It's you know, I've been very fortunate to hunt several different dangerous game animals, from buffalo to brown bears to, and I've never done anything that was that intense and that close and that, you know, that much danger and that much excitement. All of it just rolled into one. So once it finally all came together, it was just such a relief. And then, you know, you're just, as you start to process, hey, we've really done this. It took a whole team of people, essentially 3 days to put this together, really hard working and tracking and getting after it, and just very thankful. And again, like you, it's something that I'll remember the rest of my life. You know, I don't know that I would ever want to try to do it again, but it was definitely a top-notch, wonderful hunting experience, and I'm very grateful to have shared it with you. Your team has been wonderful. Your operation is top-notch, so I really appreciate the opportunity to hunt.
I appreciate it, man. Well, congratulations again, and I hope to see you soon, man.
Absolutely, thank you.